Chip and Joanna Gaines, you know them. America's home renovation sweethearts, the faces behind Fixer Upper, the heart of Magnolia. For years, they've built more than just homes. They've built a brand on faith, family, and feel-good TV. But now, that image is being challenged because with the launch of their latest series, Back to the Frontier, something has changed. Something big, and something that's got the evangelical world in an uproar. This isn't about a design trend or a budget overrun. This is about culture, faith, and a very personal decision that's now made national headlines. Let's unpack the full story. Because this isn't just a media moment. This is a moment of reckoning. On July 10th, 2025, Back to the Frontier premiered. It's a survival-based reality series streaming on Magnolia Network and HBO Max. The concept? 3 families are transported back in time, tasked with living like homesteaders from the 1800s. No phones, no electricity, no modern comforts, just wood chopping, livestock tending, and learning how to live off the land. The show was marketed as an experiment in simplicity, something raw, real, and unfiltered, something deeply in line with the Gaineses' signature aesthetic. But it wasn't the canvas tents or pioneer meals that grabbed headlines. It was the people living in them. Among the 3 families was a couple named Jason Hannah and Joe Riggs. They're a same-sex couple, they're married, and they're raising twin boys, Ethan and Lucas, born through surrogacy. Their presence on the show wasn't a stunt. It wasn't heavily teased in promos. It was natural, simple. They were just another family. Jason and Joe joined the series with the intention of representing what a modern American family can look like. In a quiet moment, Jason said, "It's important for us as a 2-dad family to be seen. We're extremely proud and thankful we had this opportunity." His message was clear. Ultimately, we're just another family. But not everyone agreed. 2 days later, July 12th, evangelical pastor Franklin Graham spoke out. Yes, the son of famed evangelist Billy Graham, a major voice in the conservative Christian world. And his message was direct. Posting on X, Graham said, "While we are to love people, we should love them enough to tell them the truth of God's word. God's design for marriage is between one man and one woman." That single post ignited a firestorm. Online debates erupted. Comment sections filled with praise and outrage. Some fans supported the Gaineses for embracing diversity. Others accused them of abandoning their Christian values. For a couple long viewed as icons of wholesome, faith-based television, this wasn't just criticism, it was war. So, how did Chip and Joanna respond? Chip Gaines took to social media on July 13th, and his tone was anything but defensive. Instead, it was thoughtful, frustrated, and frankly, fed up. He wrote, "Talk. Ask questions. Listen. Maybe even learn. Too much to ask of modern American Christian culture. Judge first, understand later, if ever." And then he added something even more powerful. It's a sad Sunday when non-believers have never been confronted with hate or vitriol until they are introduced to a modern American Christian. Let that sit for a second. This wasn't a clap back. It was a wake-up call, and Chip wasn't done. When one viewer commented that they'd no longer allow their kids to watch the show, Chip didn't argue. He simply replied, "Plenty of other stuff out there. I'm sure everyone will be fine." Simple, calm, but the message was clear. He wasn't going to bend. Jason Hannah, the dad from Back to the Frontier, also responded. In a heartfelt Instagram story, he said, "Representation matters deeply, especially for those still finding the courage to live their truth." He continued, "Visibility isn't just about being seen, it's about making sure no one feels alone." And that's the crux of this entire moment. Because for Jason and Joe, this wasn't about ratings. It wasn't about being the center of controversy. It was about existence. Being part of a world that doesn't always see them, and being on a show produced by America's most famous Christian couple, that meant something. Let's rewind for a moment. This isn't the first time Chip and Joanna have faced cultural controversy. Back in 2016, BuzzFeed published an article questioning whether the Gaineses' religious views influenced who was allowed on Fixer Upper. There were no on-screen LGBTQ+ couples at the time, and that silence raised questions. In response, Chip didn't lash out. He wrote a blog post, and in it, he said, "We are not about to get into the nasty business of throwing stones. Don't ask us to, because we won't play that way." It was a declaration of grace, of unity over division. Joanna echoed that sentiment in a 2021 interview with The Hollywood Reporter. She became emotional, tearfully denying accusations of being anti-LGBTQ or racist. She said, "That's the stuff that really eats my lunch. It's so far from who we really are." And now, in 2025, that core belief remains unchanged. Chip and Joanna aren't fighting for one side. They're making room for everyone. Let's be honest, this was a bold move. Chip and Joanna know their audience. They know their brand is built on trust, especially with conservative Christians. They know casting a same-sex couple would spark backlash. And they did it anyway. Why? Because they believe in something deeper. Not just tradition, not just television, but compassion, empathy, and inclusion. They didn't betray their faith. They embodied it. But still, for some viewers, that nuance doesn't matter. The reaction from viewers has been split down the middle. One side applauds the Gaineses for evolving, for making space for every kind of family. They call it brave. They call it overdue. The other side? They feel blindsided, betrayed. They believe the Gaineses have turned their back on Christian values. It's not just a TV show anymore. It's a battleground, a mirror reflecting America's culture wars. And the Gaineses? They're right in the middle. So, what happens now? Back to the Frontier is already streaming. The controversy is already making headlines. But the bigger question is, what will Chip and Joanna do next? Will they double down on diversity? Will they quietly retreat into safer territory? Or will they keep walking the tightrope, trying to balance faith and inclusion, tradition and progress? Only time will tell. But if this moment proves anything, it's that the Gaineses aren't afraid to take a stand, even if that means losing part of their audience. Chip and Joanna Gaines have always preached grace. They've always chosen kindness. And now, when it matters most, they're living those values. In a time of division, they chose to build a bridge, even if it costs them. That's not just a design philosophy, that's character. So whether you agree with them or not, one thing is clear, they're not just fixing homes anymore, they're fixing the way we see each other. What do you think? Did Chip and Joanna do the right thing by including a same-sex couple on Back to the Frontier? Has their brand changed, for better or worse? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from every side. And if you value real conversations about culture, family, and media, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep your heart open, and your mind too.